very successful owner of food and beverage outlets is Tim Darrell with me right now. What type of wines do you go for?
Well, Alan, in general, my preference runs to reds and fairly full-bodied wines, but there are certain specific whites that I'm particularly fond of. I'm a great wine lover. I tend to drink a certain amount of beer, but a lot of wine and not very much in the way of spirits.
Now, you're at the Bovlei launch tonight, and there's a whole range, 13 wines altogether, white and red. What has taken your fancy?
Amongst the white wines available this evening, I've enjoyed very much the Chenin Blanc, and second probably the Sauvignon Blanc. And amongst the reds, I would say the Shiraz was excellent, and the Merlot was to my taste most particularly.
Well, there we are. Words of an expert. Thank you very much indeed to Tim Darrell. Thank you, sir.
Welcome.
Thank you. With me is an extremely successful businessman in Thailand and in the big wide world. Welcome to Peter Storrow.
Hello, Alan. Always nice to talk to you.
Peter, at the Bovlei wine tasting, I'd like your comments, please, on Bovlei.
Of the reds, looking at the list of reds that you have here, I tried both Shiraz at just short of 1,500 baht. I also tried the Sauvignon, and value for money, without question, the Pinotage, which is very reasonably priced, is hands down winner. If our kind of wine drinking people, if we had that whole range, then we would have the 1,500 range on the shelf for a long time. As soon as they'd have one and then tasted the Pinotage, value for money, because the ticket that we would have to put on that, of course, without saying what the markup is, there's my comments on the red.
Well, they are very much a professional in the business, and from the heart, an honest comment. Thank you very much to Peter Storrow. Thank you, Peter. Appreciate that. Thank you. It has been my great pleasure to travel around Thailand with a very talented man indeed. We've been to many places to do the launch of Bovlei. We've been to Koh Samui, Phuket, Wahin, you name it. He is a talented man, and he is the winemaker of South Africa. He happens to be the winemaker of Bovlei. Please welcome Frank Mika.
Thank you, thank you. Right, well, we're here, we've arrived, and it's in fact a great honor to be in this wonderful land. There's a lot of similarities between Thailand and South Africa as emerging countries, and a lot of excitement and a lot of growth potential, a lot of economical growth and progress. So we're very fortunate to bring our product to the east, which is a total new market for us. We haven't been here, we don't really know what we're doing, but eventually we'll find our way through it. And the styles of wines, I think, are very susceptible to the sense that they are drinkable in this climate, and we will have to redefine some of these wines to make them more consumer friendly, to be enjoyed at all times.
Frank, how do you about creating a wine? You've got 13 Bovlei wines here tonight, and you've created each and every one. If we're looking at the year 2009, you have something new to create for Bovlei. How do you go about it?
Well, basically we look at the eccentrics of a vast area of about 700 hectares, where specifically vineyards are planted within the confines of what's best for best. in that terroir. So a Shiraz we will plant at the right location, at the right altitude, with the right direction to the sun, blah blah blah, and then we trellis them and we manage them in essence to get the best natural varietal fruit. Once you've got the varietal fruit, you can start playing around in blending and enhancing the varietal per se, or keep it by itself. So it's a question of fingerprinting the vineyards and then managing them, pulling the best vineyards into the pool and keeping them apart, and then eventually blend them till you've got the perfect mix. It's like making a sauce. It's the same, the même chose.
Frank, we talk about wine estates and we talk about a winery. Who is Bovlei and what is Bovlei Winery?
Bovlei is 101 years old this year, quite a remarkable achievement. Very few businesses reach the age of 100, and there's a lot of hard slogging has gone in through great times and down times. 100 years, a lot of things happen. Today we're looking at a new sense of excellence, a new market, a new era, I think, in the next century, where wine's going to become a leisure product, a product that fits in a lifestyle of food and enjoyment and prosperity, and it gives a lot of medical attributes also, used in moderation. That's what we're trying to sell also. Do not misuse alcohol. Wine and food is synonymous, they go together. You can't drink by yourself and not eat. And that's what we're trying to sell. The wines that we try and design are food wines. You've got to have something with it because it's a bit more on the heavy side. Leisurely drinking, well, that's for someone else to do. On our red side, we try and emulate as much as we can from nature, specifically from our area, which is quite unique. It's in the mountains. We have cold and hot, and it's quite amazing, the climate. There's two extremities, which is great. So we try and emulate a certain style of wine that's best for the territory, it's best for the consumer at a certain point in time. We also use a lot of new techniques in the line of satellite imaging on the vineyards, so we can see where the precise best rows are. We do a lot of oxygenization, where we add oxygen to the wine with staves, so we simulate barrels. It's become very expensive, but we try our best to make a product that stands up at the right price point at the right time.
Frank, Bovlei is now here in Thailand and it's been made available throughout the country. What can we expect from Bovlei in the future?
Well, this Eastern market, Thai market per se, one has got to go back to the drawing board and say, right now, where do we want to be in 10 years' time? And that's a good question. I mean, it really needs a lot of brainstorming. It's not a quick fix. The thing about wine is there are no quick fixes. In any basic industry where you plant 10 years ahead and you plan, but I see a great future. I look at fun wines also, and then try and establish us in the premium market eventually. But again, value for money, and with the new technologies that are accessible to the industry, we can generate new way of thinking in new world wines, and to keep the consumer happy. That's the basic bottom line, just to keep everybody happy. But I think it needs a bit of a slight revisit, especially with the Thai foods. They are not the usual foods we used to, and you need wines that can stand up to these things, to this food styles, which is not impossible. It's a question of synergy. One's got to look at more, maybe some more Zinfandel or port varietals that have really got spice attributes, but carry the weight in softer tannins and things like that. So it's going to be quite an artistic feat to regenerate this new market, because I think there's immense scope here, but we've got the tools in Wellington, which other places don't have. And I mean, that's to our fortunateness.
Well, there we are. Thank you very much indeed to one of the top professionals in the wine world, and thank you for launching Bovlei here in Thailand. Thank you to Frank Mika.
Thank you so much.